the limits of my pain. It has no boundaries. But if I...
Такі ж душі у тих, хто душить нас. Нема нічого ціннішого.
Connect and that we have internet and power, but it's like my machine is attacked. I can't. Nothing was working, so I'm very disappointed because I put a lot of effort into that, and it's one chance to talk to America, but talk tomorrow. So thanks.
We are hoping to make our connection with Joseph Lindsley in Ukraine momentarily. President Zelensky virtually addressed world leaders at the G20 summit in Bali and proposed a 10-step peace plan that includes ensuring nuclear and food safety and an all-for-all prisoner swap. And if we can talk to Joseph Lindsley today, I want to get his opinion on that and what he's hearing from people there about what they think of that statement by President Zelensky. Also, I know he's got a story about what he was doing last night. We got a text from him, and apparently he went to an event in Lviv where young people from destroyed cities read poems. The culture there, and the more we hear about it, and we certainly hear a lot about it here every morning from Joseph, the more you really admire the people of Ukraine, and hopefully Joseph will be able to talk about what they said and the emotions of it. And as you can imagine, we lately have it's been touch and go making our connection because of all the issues with power and power outages there. I think when we were talking to Joseph last week, he mentioned how it was on and it was off, and the latest we have this morning is that restoring power in Kherson City is the number one task. That city's still without electricity. Not sure exactly where Joseph is. When we talked to him last week, he was in Lviv, and wherever he is now, they could be experiencing some power issues. And the word we're getting from officials in Ukraine today is they're working on the electricity problems. Ukrainian forces swept into the city there of Kherson. Russian troops did retreat to the east recently following that months-long Russian occupation. So we'll continue to try to make contact with Joseph. I think we made contact with Joseph Lindsley, so we do have a couple of minutes to find out if everything's okay. Power issues today, Joe?
No, maybe I've been hacked. I don't know. My systems have been haywire, but you never know. But now I'm glad to speak to you. Yes, here in Lviv, it's a very foggy day. It's very beautiful, sort of comforting, the whole city cloaked in fog. But of course, that doesn't protect you from Russian missiles. So far, it's been quiet. No air alarms in the country. Yesterday, we have a bad feeling always. There's a Sunday blues and there's a Sunday fierceness, because there's a sense that something bad might happen on Monday. And so you really want to live well on Sunday. Yesterday, there were power outages for a couple hours in the center of the city. And that's pretty worrying because, even several days after strikes, the grid is still suffering. And you know that with each of these attacks, the grid has to be figured out. Ukrainians are innovative people, so maybe we can find some new way to get energy or start to live more by candlelight. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to share with you, if we have time, but last night I went to a centuries-old coffee house. This is a city of coffee drinkers. It's called Lviv Coffee Mines. And you walk through this maze of ancient rooms and hallways, and you get into this glass-covered courtyard where there were many young people sitting, drinking coffee at night. And there were, it was a fundraiser for the army, and young people were reading poems that they've written and singing songs that they've composed based on their experiences in the war. And for example, there was a girl from the city of Bakhmut, that city that the Russians have continued to pound day and night with their Wagner mercenary group, the city that's been totally destroyed, really. And she spoke with tears and fierceness and anger, and still managed to smile. She said she actually asked the crowd after she read a few poems in Ukrainian. She said, "Can I read a poem in English?" And everyone cheered because people feel this great connection with the English-speaking world, especially now. Mm-hmm. And so she said, "I feel how slowly I am breaking, and in general, it's the truth. We will bring this war into our homes as broken glass under our skin. My native country, my native town where I used to walk are destroyed and still being destroyed. I can't explain the limits of my pain. It has no boundaries. And then right after that, a guy got up on the stage and he sang a few songs that were pretty upbeat. And then at the end, he said, I want to read a poem in honor of my father because, you see, he said, my father was killed last month. And so he read this poem in tribute to his father. And a friend at my table leaned over and whispered to me, he said, look around at all these people here. No one knows what everyone has gone through, the heaviness. You know, even if people have a smile and they can sing a happy song, there's this incredible heaviness weighing on everyone. And that's, you know, so moments like that help people find strength.
I bet. Yeah, we're cutting out in and out a little bit, Joseph. Well, we'll pick this up tomorrow, and I want to hear about what the people there think of President Zelensky's peace plan, and I know energy security is one of the things he mentioned there. So we'll hope for better connection and a longer time to chat tomorrow. I also want to talk a little bit with Joseph about, talking about the culture there. I don't know if you saw CBS Sunday Morning yesterday, and they did a story on a restaurant in Kyiv that is very popular, and it's a borscht place, and I remember my mom making that for my father. Anyway, more with Joseph Lindsley from Ukraine tomorrow.
Такі ж душі у тих, хто тушить нас. Нема нічого ціннішого за життя. Зберігай його.
I feel how slowly I'm breaking. And in general, it's the truth. We will bring this war to our and your homes as broken glass under our skin because of the blast in someone's house. As noting, everyone has it nowadays, war diary. Today is 52nd day, an explosion near my home. I'm too terrified to go around. Explain the limits of my pain. It has no boundaries. But if I could, I'd describe you. Where would I put it?
Трохи дивно звикати, що тебе не завжди болить.
Йшли звідусюди, доповняли зірки на горі. А повз мене проходили люди. Видихати сало – це нірвана. Але щоб не скоїти проблем, пам'ятай, куріння – це погано, але гірше бути москалем.
Це я розрахую забуттям. Ти оживе.
Бачу цей плач, який не переплачу. Дійти до меж, окреслити сліди, тримати межі і триматись разом.
Себе. І більше не тебе, і більше не тебе.
Ніхто не повинен побачити цей стан, ніхто не повинен побачити цей.
Що взяли ви на себе роль колаборантів. І я вас засуджую.
Боїшся стіни.